Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another strategic non-compliance. As is, we are waiting for, of course, our guest to show up. But I believe Mike Bluehair is already here. Is that right, Mike? You here?
Yeah, I'm here, and Felipe's on as well.
Oh, excellent. Just perfect timing.
There's no such language as American. There's actually no such language as American. There's no such language as American.
I'll just go and block her. I'm going to block
No
her.
such language. I don't
Okay, Felipe, that's quite the interesting opening for us.
Are you keeping a very surly tweaker in a box, Felipe? Is that
No,
what's going on?
actually, what it is some woman from Texas going to call us on our 800 number and ask us stupid questions. And then when she says my name wrong, I say, no, my name's Felipe. It's not Felipe. And she goes, well, that's how we say it in Texas. Well, lady, I don't live in Texas, and my name's Felipe, and I'm not going to answer. And so she calls back, and I'm just going to fucking block her, stupid ass. You know, obviously you're not a paying client, so what the I give a about your it's in Texas. I don't give a flying sorry.
I think that's a proper Felipe Hemming introduction, but so let me tell the folks on the old interweb about Mr. Felipe Hemming. Felipe Hemming is a private investigator. He is the investigating side of Hemming Law Firm. He's worked with Photography is Not a Crime. He's basically an advocate for civil rights and a ardent defender of the civil rights of people that like to try to keep power accountable, and I have nothing but mad respect for the dude. So we're going to go through his career a little bit, his alternative media contributions, and just have a conversation with Felipe that I'm looking forward to.
So thank you for having me, guys. That's a pretty concentrated conversation about what I've done, and a lot of it's done what had been done behind the scenes for quite a long time. And it wasn't until the need arose where I needed to jump in and actually show my face and share my voice and share my talents across the board that I came out and about and doing what we're doing today. And it really one of the reasons why is there's nobody doing it. And if you step into the fray, you wind up getting a lot of shit on you, and all kinds of immature accusations and all kinds of other silliness. Like, really, we got a bigger fish? We got a bigger fight on our hands, and you want to be fighting amongst each other? It makes me question who you are. And that's one of the saddest things that I see amongst this is this desire to have this infighting. It's bizarre. And so my goal is to find a group of people that understand shit happens and people make mistakes and move forward versus continuing with just silliness. But yeah, I mean, I've worked with both you guys, both Mike Bluehair and Bunny Boots on several different occasions, and it's somebody's got to do it, man. And on the I'm the connection between the government and in these communities. Not that I have any favor towards the government. It's just I have the ability to communicate with these individuals the truth, and that doesn't come filtered, and it's not going to be filtered. And I'll tell them when they're full of shit and when they're not full of shit. And I've given this demonstration time and time again when individuals have been in the clutches of law enforcement and have been able to get them cut loose. Now, in your guys' neck of the woods, we haven't had that opportunity present itself. There was a close call with Bunny Boots in Springfield, but I was outside the loop too long. And by the time I got in the loop, the call floods had already commenced, and we all know what happened after that. There was no explanation for his role, and he wound up spending a night in jail and wound up with some charges. When really and truly, having someone from the contact with the command staff telling you, hey, that guy's a journalist. He's a credentialed journalist. This is who this guy is. He works with me at this media outlet. Please cut him loose because everything you've done is on camera. I don't want to embarrass your department. I don't want to embarrass you, and I don't want to create a litigious situation to where the taxpayers are now having to fund a lawsuit, paying lawyers versus overtime, equipment, or even training pay. And so you talk to me, and goes, oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. But does it always work? No. But has it worked in the majority of the time? Yeah, absolutely. And it's worked for guys in Texas on occasion. It's definitely worked here in California on many, many occasions. And that's what that is. And, there's often a confusion with what my role is and what I do. There's some people have made the error while under pressure of identifying me as their attorney. And I'm not. I've never identified myself as an attorney to anybody or a
No,
lawyer
that,
to
that
anyone.
would be illegal.
No, sir. That's not illegal. It's not illegal at all. You can say you're Peter Pan for all I
Well,
care.
it was my
No, it's not.
understanding
No,
that
sir,
you-
no, sir. If you want to talk about the law, I'll tell you about the law.
Okay,
The law is
sure.
practicing law without a license, and practicing
Right.
law without a license means you're accepting money for what you're doing. Simply
so-
talk. Simply
so I-
talk. Simply
I have a
talk.
question so I
Go
can
ahead.
learn something from
Go
you.
ahead.
Here's the thing. It was my understanding that I've been threatened a lot. I've actually been threatened by, legal entities that I can't do know your rights trainings because I'm giving legal advice, and like so I've been like basically told that I can't say certain things.
That's not true. You can put
okay.
You can put a disclaimer in there. The content of the show is not to be intended as legal
Right.
advice. It's just simply a learned individual sharing my knowledge.
That's
really
usually
relevant.
that's usually what I'll do. But like I'm glad you made that clarification, Felipe. Thank you.
Honestly, because here we have, they use police officers on a regular basis to give their opinion. Now, let me give you an understanding of what qualifies as a legal expert. Simply testifying in open court makes you an expert on whatever topic that is. Agreeing upon two parties saying that, yeah, this guy or gal or person knows what he or she or it's talking about. And so in this situation here, I'm not telling anybody what to do. I'm telling or making anybody pay me for what I do. Now, you pay Krista, who the attorney is, if you're a client for the Hemming firm. I'm a client relations specialist that interact. If you want to throw titles around, I'll throw whatever title you want to make you happy.
Sure.
When I talk to the cops, I'm the public safety liaison for my media outlet. Dude, it sounds fucking super great. It sounds great.
Yeah.
Woo! These people love titles. That's their mental medicine.
I'm a big fan of Felipe Hemming, PI.
Yeah, right.
I like private investigator. I like that.
I prefer investigative researcher because that's a term I coined myself, and now it's being used all over the place.
It's probably that crazy Texan again.
No, it's not. That's actually poetic.
Oh.
Is he trying to get in on this?
Hey, it's poetic.
Well, here's the thing. I need to explain a little bit to my audience because there are a lot of people that aren't part of the cop watching or the liberty activist or the accountability media subculture, and they don't really know who you are. Can you explain the role of liaison that you play between law enforcement when an activist is arrested and the activist community? Can you explain?
Let me share actually some more of my depth. I actually interact with every group of activists that you can imagine, and I work with them. Mostly privately as a liaison or advisor or a go-to point for a lot of their stuff, whether it be the homeless advocates or the LGBT community or the gun rights, pick a group that has activists. We work with them and work with them. And many times it's not a public matter that we work with them because it's not necessary. But in the media matter, because we have so many more people being placed in custody, it's being captured live on video. There's this role that has to happen that didn't exist before. There's not another case where we can find where a media outlet has a person specifically who works as a liaison between their field staff and law enforcement. And in an event of a misunderstanding or misapplication of the law or just total rights violation, they typically just bailed their person out, did not trying to intervene and just let it roll. And then but my goal is to keep people from going to jail, keep them out of the cage. And if you're in the cage, get them out of the cage as quickly as possible because jail's no place to be. It's a very dangerous place. People die there every day.
Sure. I mean, people get Sandra Blanded,
or Michael Sabid or Freddie Grade or this young man who just died the other day in Georgia. That's the reality.
Yeah.